Hi, welcome to another mind training session, session number 8. We're starting to go deeper, open up more areas, and we're just learning more about the mind. I hope you're enjoying it. And also understand that it can make us quite anxious, this practice. It's quite a common response. We start to get very stressed because we're really shining a microscope upon ourselves and our mental and emotional behaviors. And we're discovering that we don't like a lot of things about ourselves or about the way our mind is working. We want to change it. We want to force it to change. Or we want it to change quickly. And that's why we need to remember calmness, patience, maturity, and wisdom. Remember in the last session, we looked at this obsession that our mind has with getting what we want and avoiding what we don't like, looking for happiness and trying to avoid suffering. So remember that we will bring that whole methodology to our meditation practice. It's quite funny, right? So we have to be aware and then back off. Don't push. And don't forget the ability to laugh. Laugh at oneself. A lot of these anxieties that we have are ridiculous and unnecessary, and we're struggling mostly with ourselves. But there are solutions to this problem. Okay, close your eyes, sit up straight. Have a deep breath. Just check how you're feeling right now. Let's do some slow deep breathing. Breathing through the nose, slow in towards full, slow out towards empty. A very gentle, relaxed flow of breath. Silent if possible. relax. Have a sigh. Now check your mind. How is it feeling now? And then open your eyes, come back to the space. Remember to use slow deep breathing as a way to settle yourself and to become more relaxed, more ready, particularly to use your mind in meditation. Okay. Let's do a 1-minute power hit of concentrating upon the very gentle flow of breath around the gates of the nostrils. Close your eyes. So we're going to do 1 minute, but we're not going to try desperately hard to concentrate. We're not going to make the mind tight. We're looking for the idea of calm abiding, just relaxing comfortably into a state of awareness, of subtle concentration on a small area, a small point of focus, the breath coming in and out through the gates of the nostrils, a very small, subtle sensitivity and focus. But don't put walls around that focus. Don't try and lock the mind down. Just stop being distracted. Stop feeling the need to be thinking about other things. That's the idea. Let's try it for 1 minute. Relax, have a sigh. And then open your eyes. What's the effect? So that little 1 minute power hit, you could definitely use that throughout the day. Just finding yourself with a little bit of time to practice calm abiding, where you're not being pulled in all directions mentally and emotionally, where you just relax into a simple, quiet moment. If you build that practice, you're building a feeling for yourself. It's a different feeling to the constantly thinking, worrying way of being. It's also about learning to let go of control and become comfortable with that. Wow, there's so much freedom with that type of feeling. Alright, let's adjust this practice slightly. We're going to sit with the resting breath and just see how difficult it is for the mind to let go of control. So, close your eyes. Now, open your mouth. Just a little bit. And it's moving easily in and out through the open mouth. But now, focus around the stomach area. So we know with the resting breath that it runs itself. It requires no effort, and therefore it is very relaxing and restorative. Now, if you can feel the stomach moving with the breath, this is usually a sign of tightness around the stomach. That's what you're noticing. If you can, try to relax those muscles to not be as tight. That might just free up the breath a little bit more. You'll give it more space and make it more smooth. Now we want to apply something very tricky. See, when we observe the resting breath with our conscious mind, the minute we bring our attention to it, in almost all cases, we instantly change it. We slow it down, usually. Or it's possible that we tighten around it, because the mind gets tight when it is fixated. So, it's a very difficult thing to observe the resting breath without changing it. And that's what we're going to try for a couple minutes. If we went longer than that, you'd probably just drift off in thought anyway, so it would just become wasted time. But just as an exercise, let's see if you can sustain an awareness of your resting breath that flows easily and runs itself. It's not a big breath, it's quite small. If you were reading a book, you've been reading for an hour, you would have a very steady resting breath. But the minute you focus upon it, you're likely to change it. And that is to do with the mind and the way it grips onto reality. So what we're learning here is about the deep infrastructure of your mind and trying to loosen its grip. Let's try it now, sitting with the resting breath in a completely relaxed way, being aware of it, sustaining awareness, but not changing that breath, letting go of it, letting it run itself. There's an element of trust here. relax, have a sigh. Open your eyes, come back to the space. Be aware of being in the space. Be aware of how you're feeling. That practice potentially is beautiful. The deep sense of calmness it can create. There's a sense of being present without being fixated, worried, or controlling. When we do these subtle meditation or concentration practices, one of the main things we're noticing is anxiety. It's everywhere. We are riddled with it. It's there in almost every moment. We can see that when we try to relax deeply and stabilize our mind, we can see that when the mind then goes away thinking about things, it's doing this because of its concerns, its needs. It is usually worrying about things. That's why it's thinking about them. It's seeking resolution and control. Now, it's really important not to get hung up on that, worrying about that level of anxiety that's there. The more we open up, the more we see that it's everywhere. This could become disconcerting. We could become frustrated and find that information stressful. But we're doing relaxation practices. Calm abiding, being restful, sitting with the resting breath. This should be so simple. So what you need to check is, are you doing it in the right way? Are you sitting with the resting breath in a restful manner? Are you using the breathing techniques in a relaxed way? Or are you trying hard to get something? Are you pushing and tightening? Remember, in the last session we looked at the first two worldly concerns, desire for happiness and fear of suffering. Notice how you are ruled by those urges. Notice how deep down you have a sense of desperation about them. And then understand and practice calm abiding. Okay. That's enough for today. Keep watching yourself constantly seeking happiness and really worrying about and trying to avoid anything you don't like. Suffering. See how that's a very anxious way of being. And then come back to the calmness, the resting breath, the peacefulness, the freedom to spend more time in that place. Okay. Thank you very much. Take care.